Hi everyone, welcome to Moon Daughter Esoterica. I am so happy to be able to reconnect with all of you again. I've really missed this connection and being able to provide help, assistance, be of service to all of you. I did have to step back from my business for a little while. Things got pretty intense, and if you're here watching this video, I'm sure you're aware of this and probably why you're here. But I did have to take a step back and go on a bit of a hermit walk. And while I was gone, talking to friends and colleagues, pretty much determined that we're all going through sort of the same thing. The issues and symptoms are the same. And so I wanted to talk to you about that. I did receive quite a bit of really good information while I was on my hermit walk, and I feel like it's going to be too much to put in one video. I'll probably do a 2, maybe 3 video series, and in between I would love to go live either on Facebook, Moon Daughter Esoterica over on Facebook. I'll try to put the link below, or here on YouTube, so that we can discuss this, so we can discuss our experiences. And I guess the best way to start this video is to discuss with you what the symptoms, issues are that I'm seeing that people are experiencing. And I certainly experience them myself as well. I did make notes because I ramble and I want to stay focused. I don't want to take up too much of your time. After all, we have work to do, both 3D and in the spiritual world. So let's get right to it. The first thing that I started noticing, and most people start noticing, are feeling a little bit off. You're not quite making connections with people. You're not quite feeling a sense of completion or accomplishment. Just a general feeling of things not quite being right. And it's very subtle. So, in our busy lives, we might dismiss it. We didn't get enough sleep. We've got our mind on other things. We're stressed out. Maybe not grounded and cleared enough when we're trying to connect. Sorry about all the ums. I'm trying to lose that too. But there has been a real sense of things just not quite being right. And almost immediately after you go through that phase, I find that people start to feel a real sense of disconnection. And this can be in their social circles, their family circles. When they're trying to connect with their spirit team, they just don't feel their guides, their angels, their connection to universe, source, divine, great spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, Bob, whatever you want to call that force greater than ourselves. And also a bit of a disconnection with the self. And for a lot of us, this is very, very disturbing. We're just used to, say, communicating with our guides and having them always be there, and, sitting down, connecting up, connecting out, and having that very clear, focused, loving communication. And we're starting to see that that's becoming more and more difficult to do, to the point where sometimes you try to connect and it's like crickets, literally nothing. And that can be quite off-putting, and that's honestly what really rattled me the most. It was rather heartbreaking, to be honest. So that's what sent me off onto my hermit walk, because obviously I'm doing something wrong, right? I'm not making that connection, something, and I wanted to connect and find out what that was. I'm also seeing physical symptoms with people. So everybody, we get ill, we're human, we get illnesses, but what I'm really noticing is that even, say, a summer cold becomes super intense to the point where it just completely lays you out. And we're talking, a lot of us don't take a day off or stop what we're doing because we're ill. We just keep going. And things have been magnified and intensified to the point where it just completely lays us out. We don't have a choice. We have to rest. So that was interesting. I'm seeing that happen with a lot of people. Also anxiety and all of these things that I'm going through, all of these symptoms or issues are really next level things. We've experienced this before, but not to this extreme, not to this level. So even with anxiety, and I'm being contacted by people who never have panic attacks, saying, I just had my first panic attack. I'm full of anxiety. I don't know what's going on. And those of us who do suffer from anxiety has been at a whole new level where everything that we've done before to sort of return ourselves back to center, to get through anxiety attacks, all of that is just not working. It takes forever to get through, break through the anxiety. Also seeing brain fog, so that's, like having the dumb, I call it. I can't brain today, I have the dumb. I stole that off of some meme on Facebook, but it can be as mild as immediately forgetting the name of somebody who just introduced themselves to you, to becoming disoriented as you're driving around, forgetting your date of birth, forgetting your age. Things that you should know is just sort of not there in the brain anymore. Also, I'm noticing that people are experiencing physical pain in their body, and this seems to be centered around the nervous system. So coming off of the spine, and people experience it as little zaps or tingles that become painful, can radiate up the neck and cause headaches, can radiate down the back, causing lower back pain, sciatica. It may even be affecting your motor skills. So maybe your gait isn't as stable as it used to be, or you have butterfingers, you drop things, you fumble around. This seems to be part of this as well. And the way you can separate that is, if you have a headache and you take aspirin, Advil, Tylenol, whatever it is you take, and it doesn't touch it, that's energetic. That's part of this part of the physical symptoms of what we're going through. If you do stretching, get a massage, and nothing really seems to touch it. When you're ill, you take all the things that you take when you're ill, and it just doesn't seem to resolve. Things like that. This is next level stuff. So all of the things that and that seems to be the common thing too. Everything we're used to doing, all the things we've been doing with great success that are almost on autopilot now, they're just not working. Along with that, we may be seeing that our tools aren't working. I've talked to a lot of people who have experienced this where they enter, say, their space, their bedroom, their living room, their home, their sacred altar space, and it feels really heavy, and it feels like there's things there that shouldn't be there. So they light a candle, or they smudge, or they set up a crystal grid, or even carrying crystals with them out into the world to help them stay grounded, to help them deal with their anxiety. These tools just aren't working anymore. It may feel great when you get done with it, but within an hour, all of that heaviness returns, all of that, that drain returns. And it's perplexing. We've come used to using these tools, treating them obviously with respect if you're going to use tools, but for whatever reason, they're just not working. And that can feel like, that heaviness, that darkness may be just overtaking us. It could feel like it's winning, I guess, for lack of a better word, that we're just being overcome, or that it's too much, that we just can't hold it off anymore. And that's not the case, but that's what it feels like. Also, divination tools, so tarot cards, oracle decks, scrying tools, rune stones, whatever you use, tea leaves, anything, just aren't as clear, or they seem to be giving some messages but not fully. There might be a lot of illusion attached. It may not seem complete, or it may seem completely nonsensical to where you can't make any sense out of it. You can no longer divine the information out of these tools. And I've noticed that for a lot of people, that's really happening, to where they're like, I can't read anymore. In fact, that happened to me. I threw a spread and none of it made sense. Some of it seemed not from a good source, not from a higher power, not from a higher source. It was a lot of illusion. And so I put all of my tools away and said, okay, well, this is obviously something within myself that I need to go in and work on before I can do this. Another thing that I'm seeing is that for a lot of people, old ancient patterns and issues are starting to return, stronger than they were even when we were dealing with them. And so what I mean by that is, for example, trauma responses coming back over trauma that we've resolved. It hasn't affected us, and it could be we've just recently cleared it, or we've cleared it years ago. all of a sudden it's back and it's loud and it's in our face, and we're knee-jerk responding in the old ways and the old patterns, and afterwards we're saying, what was that about? Like, I haven't done that in years. That's not even in my character. What's going on here? We may be seeing archetypal players returning. So this very well could be the exact same people that caused our trauma trying to come back into our lives, or it could be more representative. So people like the people, situations that we were in before. Or another interesting turn is people that are now sort of dealing with the trauma that we have already cleared, projecting that onto us, coming into our space and projecting that onto us, almost as if we did that to them. It's very strange. If you've experienced it, definitely share your experience in the comments below, because I was really scratching my head on that one, going, I don't understand what's going on. And even on a global, like earth plane global level, this is big. This isn't just within our circles. If you really look at it, things like division, bigotry based on skin color, nationality, political party, religion, sexual identity, sexual orientation, all of these things that we thought we resolved, we thought we found a peaceful solution, they're coming back. And they're coming back more bold and hateful and painful than they have been in a very long time. And I know I'm not the only one scratching my head saying, wait, this was resolved. How is this even happening? Have people always felt like this? And in another video, we'll get into the why on all of this. I was given information as to why all of this is happening. But that's, again, for another video. It's a lot of information. And the final thing that I'm noticing is when you are able to connect, when you are able to read, when you are able to get information from the highest divine source, from your spirit guides, from your angels, it seems to be the messages are on repeat, almost like an automated phone line. For go within, press 1. For self-love, press 2. For release what no longer serves you, press 3. For rest and take care of yourself, press 4. To the point, as a reader, it was getting rather annoying to me. And my friends and colleagues and clients that I was reading for, they're like, I am. What am I doing? Like, I keep hearing the same thing. I'm doing all of these things. I need more information. And I was the same way. I'm like, yeah, resting, going within. I need some more information. I need some more. And so finally, taking a step back, taking that time, I was able to get some information, and I want to share that information with you now. Basically, where we're at right now is there is a call to inaction. And I know, that was my response too. Wait, no, inaction, no, I'm a light worker, a light warrior. See, I have work to do. I have a mission. I have work that must be done. Inaction at this time when things are going this crazy and this nuts. No, I'm not just going to sit back and do nothing. And my guides were very patient with me. And they said, no, let's explain this. Why are you doing this? You need to get a crystal clear definition of what God, Source, Universe, Great Spirit, the Divine, Bob, whatever you choose to call this, what that is to you. You have to be crystal clear in your definition, because there is a lot of ideas going around. There's a lot of old stale dogma going around. There are a lot of things within you that no longer work, that no longer are necessary, that you've evolved from, that you've outgrown. And this is not just for me. This is for humanity. This is for the collective. So in order to get unstuck, in order to move beyond this period of inaction, in order to rise above all of this, the first thing we need to do is go within and take a look at what is God, Source, Universe, Great Spirit, the Divine, Bob. What is that to me? What does that feel like? What do I know based on my experiences up to this point in time? What do I know? Not what I was taught, not what I picked up on the web somewhere, not what somebody told me, not what I overheard, not what my family has done for generations. So this really is about refreshing our connection with that greater source. The whole reason we're here, the whole reason we are light workers, the whole reason why we have that connection and connection with humanity and the planet. We have this great drive to go outside of ourselves and save the planet, save the world, save humanity, save the animals, save. We are to be conduits of that greater force, of that greater, higher energy that is beyond ourselves. And the reason we can't go up and the reason we can't go out to connect is because we are being asked to find that within ourselves. And so that's really the only place where we're going to be able to connect with that God source, with that true, universal, strong, loving force that guides us. It's inside. So once we find that light, once we make that definition, the next thing is to really look at what beliefs that we hold that are inconsistent with our personal experiences. What are those? We have to identify them before we can either continue to carry them or let them go. We have to find out what those are. And a lot of this is very mindless for us. It's just because it is. And I think we as a collective have spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally grown beyond a lot of these things that we hold. And it's going to be very different for each and every one of us. Our communication with this higher force, with God's source, is going to be different for each and every one of us. The next thing is to really find out what we feel about God, source, divine, universe, great spirit, Bob. How do we feel? We as human beings, we are given a huge range of very complex emotions. And it's very easy to say, well, I feel love, because we do. That is a predominant emotion. But it's a much more rich, much more complex experience if we really connect with all of the emotions we feel. And we're being asked to do that at this time. Experience the full emotional and then mental experience of the divine presence that is around us and within us. And the next thing we need to ask is, what rituals or actions do I perform automatically? So those are the things that we do without thought. So for example, we hear of a tragedy, oh, thoughts and prayers. Somebody's having a bad day, oh, love and light. It's become automatic responses in certain religions. You know, if you cross yourself, a lot of times you're not present when you take those actions. You're not fully in that moment, feeling, thinking, observing. It's just something you do, and then you move on. And I'm not saying you're being insincere about that, but I feel like a lot of times things are bigger than what we can really handle in the moment. And so that's what we do. We send thoughts and prayers. And we actually do give a thought and a quick prayer. Sending love and light is another way of saying, I see your struggle. It's the new namaste, I guess. And honoring it, but not really fully engaging into it. And I think that's the difference. A lot of things we're doing without fully engaging. So we're not fully connected to that divine presence. Another thing you can look at too is the actions or rituals that you perform based out of fear. So this could be, smudging because there might be darkness in your house and you don't want that to happen, and you're afraid that if you don't smudge and set up your space and everything, that bad things are going to happen. If you smudge to clear your space, if you're aware that there's old energies in there and there's things you need to clear out, absolutely do so respectfully, do so with presence, do so connecting both with the divine and the tool that you're working with. It's a beautiful thing. But if you're doing it because something might get in, something, I don't feel good and I don't know what this is, so I'm going to smudge, but I have no idea what I'm smudging. It's about making that connection and that connectivity So if you're setting up altar space so the bad things won't happen, rather than setting up altar space to honor your connection, to bring in more divine presence, to make you mindful of your connection to the divine. If you're doing anything out of fear, other than those reasons, if you're doing anything out of fear, that's got to go. Those are one of those things that you need to release. Those are one of those things that you release that no longer serves you. And also talismans as well. Excuse me. I need to get some coffee here. Talismans as well. So those are good luck charms. It can be sage. It can be the crystals that you carry in your pocket to get through Walmart, or the saint metal that you hang on your rear view mirror so that you don't get into an accident. All of those things. What I was shown is we're putting a lot of faith into those things. And those things are sort of taking the place of our trust and faith in the divine, in our path, in our soul, and the power within. So we're taking that power outside of ourselves. We're taking the power outside of the divine, and we're placing them on these talismans, on these objects, and just going about our business, trusting that they'll keep us safe. And for what lies ahead, we really do need an individual, deep, loving, very intimate connection with the divine force, with all that's around us, but it has to start within ourselves. So we have to find that light inside. It's not time to shine light out there, and I know this is highly controversial, but we've been shining and we've been draining ourselves to the point where we're completely exhausted, where we're fighting for our own survival. So we have to tap in to that source that is within us. We have to find out what talismans actually are serving us. We have to find out what rituals we're performing and what actions we're performing are actually doing something, are actually helping, are actually improving our experience, our connection with the divine, our connection with one another. So that's where to start. I think I'm going to leave this here because it's already, a 22-minute video. I will be following up, like I said, with videos talking about the why, talking about what's happening to us as a collective, the planet, all of that. The shift is definitely on. It's definitely picked up pace. A lot of it has happened, and it happened pretty subtly in places and very rapidly in others. And so we're basically having to adapt to this. But the place to start is no longer going up through the layers. It's no longer going out through the heart. It's really going within. That divine loving force is within all of us. And we have to find it there, and we have to define it. We have to be clear about it. We have to know that divine source, light, love within us. So I'll leave that there. I would love to hear about your experiences. Again, you can put them in the comments below. Keep an eye out, though, on my Facebook page and here on YouTube. I will make an announcement when I will be going live for discussion, because I would really love to hear your experiences and sort of let's get through this together. The exercise we're doing now is very individual. No one can do this for you. No one can tell you how to do this. Unfortunately, no one can help you through this. This is something that is between you and Source and God, the divine, universe, Great Spirit, Bob. It's very individual for each and every one of us. It's meant to be an intimate, not broadcast experience. It's in there. We have to find it. I want to wish you many blessings, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you soon. Take care.